This is our underwater range of motion series. We were able to get him moving underwater earlier than the protocol had suggested because of the weightless environment of the water. We're able to move our body on our arms versus our arms on our body, just making it safer. We're also able to get some good scapular range of motion and also, as well as an isometric stabilization exercise. He's working against the resistance of the jets here, trying to hold himself in place. We always started with some sort of a thoracic spine or T-spine warm-up involving 3 or 4 exercises, just trying to get his upper spine moving and lubricated. A healthy T-spine reduces shear stress on the shoulders. And then we go into our rotator cuff activation. And we do that with a metronome. That's what's sitting on the side of the pool right there. And it's just ticking, keeping a good count for him, because we do these rotator cuff exercises at 3 speeds: a 30 degree per second, 45 degree per second, and 90 degrees per second. So he's just moving with the ticks of the metronome, going from slow to fast in each series. This is a forward flexion pattern. We do that in a scapation pattern, an abduction pattern. This is internal and external rotation. Our progression for that is an open hand first, then a closed hand against the resistance to the water, and then we put on the fins. And the fins, of course, were a little bit later in rehab. We prefer the fins versus paddles or anything where you have to do any strong grip work. If we're going to be in the pool for a while, we don't want to be gripping too long because that'll cause medial elbow problems. So we much prefer the fins where you don't have to grip at all. This is a D1 pattern, and again, he's doing that at 3 speeds: a slow speed, a medium speed, and a fast speed. We then go to our open chain stabilization routine. And that's just using these oscillations against resistance to the water for 15 seconds at the top of the range of motion, 15 seconds at the bottom of the range of motion, and then moving through the entire range of motion while oscillating. And it's a good way to increase muscle tension, increase time under tension, working on muscle endurance and strength, at the same time saving joint shear stress, making it a little bit safer and you're a little less prone to the tendinitises that tend to occur. And we do that in several different patterns. And finally, this is our D1 pattern with oscillations. He would have started with 15 seconds at the top, 15 seconds at the bottom, and then moving through the range of motion while oscillating. And the metronome there is keeping him honest with his count. After that, we move to our variation series. Our variation series just allows us to vary our planes of motion. So we're not working on isolated muscle patterns anymore. Now we're trying to get a bunch of different muscle involvement, a lot of bicep and tricep work. He's focusing on moving the water as fast as he can, trying to move as much water as he can. He's not having to grip ropes real hard or have any traction on the shoulder. At the same time, he's able to get a lot of different plane functional work in. And we do that with big waves up and down, side to side, and circles. This is our push-pull exercises. And here he's really focusing on trying to keep his scap still on his back while pushing and pulling. That's very important. We also do a 2-plane push and pull, where we pull and push in the frontal plane and pull and push in the sagittal plane. So it's a double plane push-up exercise. The more planes you get involved, the better. This is our alternative to dumbbell bench pressing. We didn't want him picking up dumbbells and walking around the weight room, putting that shoulder at risk. So we did all our bench pressing underwater against the resistance of the flat dumbbell against the water, and we do that both double arm and single arm, stabilized against the back of the wall, and then we moved out to the middle of the pool, just stabilizing off his core, which just increases the intensity of the exercise. Again, double arm and single arm. And then we would finish with this transverse plane punch, just trying to get into the transverse plane, pushing down. Again, everything we've worked on to activate and warm up, we're now applying against the resistance to the water with the dumbbells. And we would finish using the deflated ball. The deflated ball just allows us to get good grip work in, activating the whole arm, and we'll do wood chops both left to right and right and left, and then we would finish by trying to spell our ABCs underwater. And it's just a good finisher. It lasts about 1.5 to 2 minutes. Good muscular endurance, at the same time saving the joint.